This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
And welcome everybody to episode 33 of the Animaniacast.
Lab mice.
Check. These patios are killing me, brain. I think I prefer knee-highs.
Who am I to judge?
And welcome once again to the Animaniacast. We are the one and only podcast that is dedicated to the animated television series, the Animaniacs. Each and every week we talk about a new episode in the order in which it was released, and we talk about all the gags and all the jokes and all the references that we can possibly think of. And in the end, we give each and every episode a water tower rating. I am Joey, and joining me once again is my brother Nathan.
Nathan, don't forget to think of a catchphrase before today's podcast.
Oh, Nathan, that wasn't... Never mind. And all the way across the country is Kelly.
Hi, I never have a clever catchphrase.
It doesn't
that
sound
would
like...
be a good bet. I should have used that one.
You should, Nate. I don't think Nathan had a catchphrase this time either, actually.
What?
Now that I think about it. Yeah, Nathan.
No, we both had catchphrases.
Okay, I think you're just actually
Everyone
reading...
has catchphrases.
You're just reading your reminder from Siri right there, Nathan. I
Yeah,
think.
well, that was submitted by Siri, I think.
Oh, well, okay. Thank you, Siri, for today's Animani catchphrase. Well, today marks we are officially 1/3 of the way through the run of Animaniacs today. Woo! We are episode 33, and today we have a few cool segments. First of all, we have the Warners are separated out in this one, in kind of a cartoon called Cartoons in Wacko's Body. And of course, the main segments we have are Noah's Lark, The Big Kiss, and Hiccup.
Hiccup. Like, from How to Train Your Dragon.
I've never seen that movie all the way through.
Well, he's the main character. So,
Hiccup. Okay. I hear it's a very good movie, but I haven't seen it myself. But anyway, so guys, what do you think in a few words? What do you think about today's episode? Nathan, we'll start with you. What do you think?
I think it's a good episode.
And Kelly, what about you?
Indiana Jones was in it.
That's a very good highlight right there. Well, let's get on right into it. But before we do, Nathan, when did this episode first premiere?
So, Joey, this episode first premiered on Wednesday, November 3rd of 1993, which was just one day after Christy Todd Whitman was elected as the first governor of Rhode Island. And also that same day, Roger Moore, James Bond, had his enlarged prostate removed.
Well, good to know he got that taken care of. And that was a very notable moment.
Oh, yes.
Well, definitely for him.
Yeah.
I don't know about for me.
I'm assuming
but...
he's a listener, so
yeah, well,
now he knows
that we know
where he was at the time. So,
well, there you go. That I'm so glad I know that right now.
Yeah,
Nathan.
and I bet very few listeners knew that day. It was so it's very important.
There you go. Well, today let's go ahead and start off with. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and go through all these little cartoons in Wacko's Body.
Yeah, just
all together. Knock them out.
Yeah,
knock them out.
Oh, help me, Doc. My head hurts.
The episodes are kind of bookmarked, I guess you could say, right? By these little cartoon. Yes, they would say it one more time again. It was
book-ended.
Book-ended.
They're bookends. That's like what they used to have in Young Indiana Jones. They'd have like the bookends.
Yes, not bookmarks. They are book-ended. Yes, we have these little bookends on the edges of these little cartoons. And the first one is Wacko saying, "Oh, there's he's complaining about having a headache." So Yakko looks inside of his ear and he says, "Oh, I see what's wrong. There's a cartoon in there." They come back and Wacko says that he has something in his eye. So Dot looks in there and he sees, oh, there's a cartoon in your eye.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, at the end, they come back to the first aid place in the studio lot,
Mm-hmm.
and Wacko complains of having a toothache, and then Yakko sees that the next cartoon is in Wacko's mouth.
Yes.
Now, right there, I just kind of watched those, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of cute. But then it's at the very end of the episode.
Yeah, to close out the end.
The whole episode.
Yeah.
There's a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And they go over, they
say what you just said.
say
pretty
what
much.
I say. But it's very much like, it's like seeing people do like a press conference after someone's had like a major heart surgery or something. Like, we did this, then we did this, then we did this. And then at the end, Wacko suddenly says,
"Oh, my bottom hurts." Good night, everybody.
so
Yeah, I like that.
The other three segments didn't make me laugh because you knew what was going to happen. We've seen these before with
Fortune cookies
and drawing on a pad, and it's the next cartoon, and we kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, and they're never like ha funny.
Yes.
That's funny, ho ho. I want funny, ha ha.
But I did laugh out loud at the very end with the bottom thing.
Yeah, and I like that it's a double because it's also the end. It's his end, and we find the end right there. So
good catch there, Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cute, and I totally forgot about. As soon as it happened, I was like, "Oh, now I remember this." But at the time, going through it, I was like, boring. But it was totally worth it at the end. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it paid off.
Yeah, it's funny.
Well, let's go ahead and get into our first cartoon, which is Noah's Lark. And Noah's Lark, this is kind of having some gag writers right here. So instead of, I believe, Nicholas Hollander, it says Shecky Hollander. Instead of Tom Ruger, it says it was written by Dr. Plotz Ruger. And instead of Sherry Stoner, it says Boom Boom Stoner. Shecky Hollander and Boom Boom Stoner were previously credited as writers for a Tiny Toons segment, Lame Joke, which is season 2, episode 9. I totally... This is just an example of the writers just having fun with giving themselves credit. So there you go. Nicholas Hollander, Sherry Stoner, and Tom Ruger were the writers of this one with crazy names. And it was directed by Greg Reyna. Well, Kelly, what can you tell us? What happens here in Noah's Lark?
Noah's Lark is about Noah. And God tells him it's based on the story in the Bible, obviously, but God tells Noah to build an ark, and Noah says, "Okay, fine. What's an ark?" And then Indiana Jones comes racing in. He's like, "It's an incredible bejeweled box containing the powers of the heavens, and it also melts Nazis."
What's an ark?
It's what I've been searching for. It's this incredible bejeweled box containing the power of the heavens, and it melts Nazis.
And then he's chased off into the distance by the Jovitos.
Yes.
And it comes as no surprise that that's one of my favorite moments ever in an Animaniacs cartoon. It never fails to make me laugh. And but he builds the ark, and all the animals come on the ark, and except he's terrified of the spiders. They give him the heebie-jeebies. He's allergic to fear. And the Hip Hippos are there, and Pinky and the Brain. Except Pinky's dressed like a girl. And he kind of looks to the side and says, I'm not judging. Or something to that, I'm paraphrasing. But so they set off, and it rains for 40 days and 40 nights, and the Hip Hippos drive him crazy. They think they're on a cruise ship, and their roommates are actually the spiders, and every time he sees them, he freaks out.
Oh no, our roommates are...
The spiders! Spiders! How did he do that? I do not know.
And then how does this all wrap up again? It's like the Noah's Ark, right?
They end, and the spiders want to be friends. The Hip Hippos bring the spiders to him, and like, you remember the spiders? And he screams and runs away. So.
Greetings, neighbor.
You don't mind if we picnic on your hill with our dear old friends from the cruise, do you?
Certainly you remember the Spideys.
Care to join us?
No, and I very rarely repeat myself, no!
Apparently very shy or antisocial.
But it was a cute cartoon. There was some references in here that we could go over real quick before we talk about some of our favorite moments. So first of all, let's talk about Noah himself. It's a kind of a caricature of the comedian Richard Lewis, who hasn't really done much these days.
Yeah, the last thing I saw him in was probably Curb Your Enthusiasm, and that was 8 years ago or something.
Yeah, he's. I don't know if he's a retired comedian or what, but yeah, I mean he was in Men in Tights as Prince John, I believe. Yeah. That's probably the film that most people listening to us might be familiar with.
Tell everybody that before the day is out, we shall have a wedding or a hanging. Either way, we ought to have a lot of fun, huh?
He was also in John Candy's last film, which was Wagons East.
Of course, you got a problem with that. We can settle it right here.
That's life, huh?
I know. What's it like being called a cattle rustler?
I don't blame you.
Take 10 paces.
Say, I tell you what, I'd love to, but I can't because, you know what, I'm anti-handgun. So, let's see. Look, what do you say we just flip for him, huh?
I said take 10 paces, turn, and start shooting.
What's the cows? What, am I crazy? What have I been thinking? I'm a sheep rancher.
Start walking.
Just, I remember seeing him a lot as a kid. Just, playing the neurotic Jewish comedian I'm doing his hand gesture right now, which is just like, put his hand on his forehead and just kind of, I don't know. And he's, his whole gag was to pace back and forth and be neurotic and kind of crazy. But I remember watching his comedy as a kid.
Excited. I'm just a little paranoid tonight. I haven't performed in a couple of months, and yet, hey, I'm paranoid about everything in my life. Even at home, on my stationary bike, I have a rear view mirror, which I'm not thrilled about. And sadly, my last shrink, she retired about a week ago. I'm freaked out, and it was sort of a nightmare. She was only 24. I guess I burned her out real fast, and.
Kelly, any memories of Richard Lewis at all?
Well, you already mentioned Men in Tights, but I'm trying to remember. I thought he used to be in a sitcom, but I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, he's
been doing a lot of things. I mean, over the years.
Anything But Love with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh,
I just looked it up. I vaguely kind of remember that show.
God, Jamie Lee Curtis was in a sitcom with him? I don't remember this at all.
Yeah.
There you go. So at the time, early 90s, people knew who he was. This was like one of the bigger stand-up comedians of the day. So if you saw him as a kid, you knew who Noah was supposed to be in this cartoon. And Ernie Anderson is the narrator in this once again, just like he was doing the narration of the Adam and Eve cartoon. What was that called? The Slappy in the Garden. I don't know.
Something, yeah. Guard in the Garden.
Guard in the Garden. How could I forget a cool title like that? Yeah. So he was the narrator of that one, which it was cool to see that the same narrator telling the Bible story. And of course, Ernie Anderson did the narration for America's Funniest Home Videos. And one of the cool parts of this was, again, talking about the Love Boat.
Love Boat.
He completed construction just as the rains began and the animals marched 2 by 2 onto the Love Ark.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, they make another reference to the Love Boat, right?
Yeah, Captain Stubing or something like that is mentioned.
Up
Up and down, up and down. I hate the sea. I hate boats. Why am I out at sea in a boat? Where's Gavin McLeod when you need him?
But that's pretty much it.
Well, you forget Babs and Buster Bunny.
Oh, duh.
Like,
yeah, Babs and Buster Bunny show
like
up
a nice
in this
cameo
one.
and
Check. Bunnies.
Buster and Babs Bunny. No relation.
Let's hope not. It's a children's show.
But yeah, it was cool to see Bubs. It was cool to see Buster and Babs.
That's their celebrity name, I guess. If they were a couple.
Yes,
Bubs.
Yeah, what do you guys think? What are your favorite moments about this one?
I liked him getting scared by spiders, I guess. Like, I didn't dislike it, so I guess I liked it.
And Kelly, we know that, of course, the moment right there with Indiana Jones is got to be one of your favorite moments, right?
Yes, I love it.
You know, I noticed in that the sound itself was, cool to listen to because, number one, when he rushes out to grab Noah,
mm-hmm.
he mentions he's talking about the Ark, and then the music is playing the Illinois Smith theme.
Mm-hmm.
And then it transitions when the Jovitos go to chase him off. Those Jovitos are the same character design as the bush lad guy from the cartoon Tasmania.
And they have the Tasmania theme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it goes bum 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 as they rush off. So I was like, okay, so the music is giving little references to other stuff. In this case, other cartoons that we've seen.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. But yeah, for me personally, I just like this cartoon because I'm not a huge fan of the Hip Hippos, but this one was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good Hip Hippo cartoon, I would say.
And of course, the Hip Hippos just think that this entire trip is simply a luxury cruise,
mm-hmm.
of some sort. And, Kelly, you've never been on a cruise.
No.
Nathan and I went on a cruise once. And
never again.
Never again.
Never
too
again.
Too many spiders.
The Spideys?
But yeah, the only thing I really remember from the cruise is the food. So I could see why the Hip Hippos would be very interested in going on a cruise.
Mm.
But yeah, it was a cute cartoon. Not much more that I could really think of it than I just kind of liked the references. It was cute.
Yeah. Apparently the manager of Richard Lewis contacted did you see that?
No, I didn't.
And something about like how he said great, very funny, but next time could you try not to steal all of his material or something like that? Like,
yeah, well, that's the thing. Luckily, they're in a area where they can say it's parody, and that way they don't have to worry about paying him or anything
mm-hmm.
like that. But yeah, it was a dead on impression.
Yeah, it was a very good impression. But yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a interesting trivia thing if it is true. So yeah, apparently his agent contacted them. So.
Well, let's go ahead and move on over to the next little segment right now. Chicken Boo, the Big Kiss. So The Big Kiss was written by Deanna Oliver, and it was directed by Alfred Gimeno. And basically the synopsis of this is that Chicken Boo is the sexiest actor in Hollywood.
Obviously.
And in the Warner Brothers studio, there's this director who, for some reason, every time he talks, the Alfred Hitchcock theme is playing in the background, which doesn't really make any sense to me because the director didn't sound anything like Alfred Hitchcock.
Look like
or
him.
look anything. So it's not him, but they just had to keep playing that music. Hello Nurse, I think, is playing the actress.
Looks a
in this.
lot like Hello Nurse, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe her cousin. Maybe I don't know.
I think it's related to. She would be related.
Well, she is very excited in this scene to work with this sexiest actor in the world or whatever because, well, he's so sexy. You know, he has this cool mustache and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken Boo comes in. And his only costume, I think, is just the mustache.
Yeah, all he has is a mustache on, which is, I think, the least costume he's had so far.
He's really getting bold at this point. He doesn't even wear a suit or a tie or
if he just grew the mustache, then he'd be a man.
Exactly. He has to work on that. Get some like hormone injections or something.
There you go. That's all he needs to do.
Or at least better glue, because what happens is Chicken Boo leans in to kiss this actress, and of course when they back up, she has the mustache on her, and she screams out,
I kissed chicken lips!
Which is something that I remember seeing a lot in promos for Animaniacs. They showed this a lot for some reason. The line, I kissed chicken lips, was in a lot of Animaniacs promos, I believe, early on. But yeah, same thing happens. Chicken Boo runs off. He's, kicked out of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it for Chicken Boo this time around. Guys, what do you think about this Chicken Boo segment?
It was fine. I don't know. Is this the first time they call him Chicken Boo?
Well, like, what do you mean? Like I forget. Did they actually call the act?
Yeah, he says, "You Chicken Boo," or something.
Wow.
You've ruined my picture. I'll be the laughing stock of Hollywood. You'll never work in this town again, Chicken Boo.
Wow. So he just knew all of a sudden.
I mean, his name's Boo, and then so.
What did they call him as the actor? I forget.
Boo.
They just called him Boo?
Yeah, so
his name was Boo. You will always be my Boo.
Okay. The director being allergic to chicken feathers, I didn't think of as necessary to the...
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. It was like the little clues of, oh, yeah, all of a sudden this actor comes in and I'm allergic to chickens. And
it's like, okay.
Hint, hint, director.
How many times have I got to tell you, Tony, these sneezes are an allergic reaction?
To what?
Chicken feathers.
People are really stupid in Chicken Boo cartoons. I don't. But Kelly, any thoughts on this Chicken Boo cartoon?
I thought it was cute. I enjoyed it. I liked his mustache.
It kind of reminds me of Kermit's mustache in Muppets Take Manhattan. He just
Kermit. Oh no, I'm thinking the wrong Kermit movie. I just really wanted to say it like that.
Kermit the Frog. No, we're thinking of Muppets Take Manhattan where he's Phil. Yeah. Before he turns into Phil Up, he's the Hollywood agent, and he goes into Sardi's. That's right. That Kermit the Frog. The many disguises of Kermit the Frog. Personalities.
I know, there's so many.
So yes, that little pencil thin mustache definitely reminded me. It looked good on Chicken Boo. You should keep that up. But next time, wear some clothes too, Chicken Boo. Yeah. I mean, at least
some modesty, please.
Come on. Okay, well, Nathan, we have one more cartoon segment to go over, and it's called Hiccup.
Excuse you.
Thank you. Well, Hiccup was written by Deanna Oliver and was directed by Greg Reyna and Dave Marshall. And Nathan, what happens in Hiccup?
So, Squit, Pesto, and Bobby are all eating food, and Squit eats some food too much, too quickly, and gets the hiccups, and Pesto and Bobby try to help him, but it doesn't really help. Then the God Pigeon comes, and there we go. He fixes him. So
yeah, the God Pigeon scares him really well,
and gets rid of the hiccups. So
there we go. That's pretty much it. He had it's all in the title, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. It's called Hiccup. You know what you're getting into. There's something about hiccups. Well, Kelly, what did you think about the cartoon Hiccup?
I thought it was cute, and when I realized, or at least I feel like we haven't seen a Good Feathers in a while.
Yeah.
So I was kind of glad to see the Good Feathers back.
Yeah. Well, there were a few quick little references right there, mostly at the park that they're
like
showing.
before it even starts, really.
Yeah. They kind of threw in a bunch of references right at the beginning. So they have Dustin Hoffman kind of running in a tracksuit. So that's him in Marathon Man.
Relief, discomfort. Now, which of these I next apply, that decision is in your hands. So, take your time. Is it safe?
And of course, we had David Letterman was kind of doing a kind of walk through the park, doing his thing. But finally, we had Macaulay Culkin running through Central Park. We can assume, with Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci right behind him. I believe these guys were the Sticky Bandits at this point. I believe
they were the
Home Alone
Sticky
2.
Bandits.
Yeah. So the Sticky Bandits are chasing Macaulay Culkin, I should say, through the park. In total daylight, so
well, that's what they do in the movie too at one point. So.
At one point, these Home Alone movies, I barely remember anything about them.
Well, Home Alone 2 is, I think, better than the first one. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say. They're about the same.
I feel the same. I feel like it's got a lot more heart to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And both have brilliant scores and soundtracks. Just want to throw that out there. John Williams.
There you go. John Williams did. I mean, hey, at the end of Home Alone 1, I don't think there's a dry eye in the theater when the old man is there giving a hug to his family.
Yeah, no, George Costanza really got to him.
The old man got to me.
You're crying from Home Alone? The old man got to me. All right.
Yeah, fantastic scores by John Williams right there. And, I was talking to my wife because we just got over the Christmas break, and Home Alone and Home Alone 2 are consistently on a lot of people's lists of best Christmas movies.
Yeah.
It's not usually what I think of as a Christmas movie, but
I watch Home Alone 2 every Christmas now. So
are you serious?
Yeah, it's my wife's favorite almost.
Really?
It's one of her favorite Christmas
movies. I can't even tell when my brother's joking anymore.
It's true.
Okay. Okay.
I imagine that must be difficult.
Okay. Well, anyway, and and really the only other kind of reference that I could really note is there's some Disney references in this.
Yeah, it seems like Bobby or Pesto really is kind of like he really likes Disney, I think, but he's ashamed of his.
He's ashamed. He doesn't want to admit.
Yeah, because he keeps hearing all these Disney things, and then he's like, "What?"
Pastizio. The Heim Hiccup maneuver works every time.
Thanks, Doc.
Doc? What's that supposed to mean?
I just said thanks, Doc.
Doc? What? Are you saying I'm one of those 7 ugly dwarves? Is that what you're saying? That I am some kind of short, white-bearded alphanet here to whistle while I work for you? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
I am a doc.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's it!
How dare you compare me to Disney? And but he knows a lot of.
So he's really a fan of Disney at heart, but he won't admit to it.
But he would never admit to it. That's my theory.
See. So of course he mentions that you calling me Doc, like the dwarf at one point. And then later he talks about, he goes, you call me one of the musketeers, one of those hi there, ho there?
Yeah.
In other words.
What do you mean by that?
I just said we're like the 3 musketeers, all for one and one for all.
Are you saying that I am Annette Funicello here to wear mouse ears for you? That I am some kind of hey there, hi there, ho there, come and join the jamboree punk on a kids' TV show? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
I am a musketeer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's it. I'll give you a musketeer. I'll give you right upside the hands out.
The Mouseketeers, not the Musketeers, but he still hears Mouseketeer.
Yeah.
And he mentions Annette Funicello.
Which, how do you know these things?
I think you're onto something, Nathan. I think Pesto is a fan.
He's a closeted fan.
When I was a kid on the Disney Channel, on the old, we're talking the good Disney Channel, ladies and gentlemen. Before in the early 90s, they had the new Mickey Mouse Club on the Disney Channel, where we had people like Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears get their first time in front of the camera singing and stuff. But of course, the original 1950s Mouseketeers, they actually showed a lot of those old episodes on the Disney Channel. Did you ever get a chance to watch those as a kid, Kelly?
Oh, yeah. Periodically. My mom, she watched the original Mickey Mouse Club as a kid, and so, they'd come on, and she's like, oh, there's Annette Funicello, and she'd get really excited.
Yeah. The original show I always liked watching it because it's kind of cool to see how the kids acted back then. A lot of obsessions with cowboys and Indians and stuff like that. A lot of the episodes of the Mickey Mouse Club focused on that. And then I remember they would always go to Sid and Marty Krofft, but it wasn't that. It was they'd go off to segments of Davy Crockett or little Spin and Marty. That's what it's called. Not Sid and Marty Krofft. Spin and Marty, I think, was what it was called. And it would just be, I'd be done with it. But, it was cool to see Disney. I just like watching it because I got to see what Disneyland looked like when it was first starting off. That was cool to see. But anyway, yeah. But Pisto's definitely a Disney freak, I think, as well.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Well, any other moments, guys? What do you think? The Hiccup. Let's talk about the Hiccup things right here. The methods that they decide to try to get.
Try to stop hiccups.
Yes.
So
which method is the best method in your experience?
I don't know, drinking water or
drinking water. They didn't try that. They did try this.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I usually just take a big breath and just swallow.
Yeah.
No, I usually just try to breathe normal and then. Just kind of, since it's all psychological anyways.
Is it psychological?
Oh, it totally is.
No, it's something biological is going on there, like a bubble in your...
Your brain just thinks that it needs more air.
No.
Or there's something weird in your diaphragm, where it's
No, I am going to hiccup in Wikipedia. A hiccup is an involuntary contraction of the diaphragm that may repeat several times per minute.
Yeah.
Not in your brain.
Hey, the brain controls everything.
The hiccup is an involuntary action, including a reflex arc. Once triggered, the reflex causes a strong contraction of the diaphragm, followed by about a quarter second later by closure of the vocal cords, which results in the classic hic sound. I can't even talk. I might have the hiccups right now. I'm having some trouble. Well, anyway, it's not your...
If the brain just stopped the diaphragm from spasming,
so if you just die, then you won't stop. Hiccuping.
So that's in the cartoon. They said if Squid just kept holding his breath, he would have stopped hiccuping, which is true.
Well, that works for me. Not stop breathing, but to take a huge deep breath in and just hold it as long. And they tried that, and then that didn't quite work. He kind of went like a balloon everywhere. But I did like the whole. I remember what happened to...
Yeah, all the stories of, closing the throat or
someone's head caved in or stuff like that.
Yeah, the torso was caved into, I think.
Yeah. And of course, the part that I did laugh when the God Pigeon just turns around and has this huge, scary...
Yeah, it was a little scary too, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, I did like that moment quite a bit. It was, and a good sound from Maurice LaMarche right there. He does those good monster sounds, whatever it was. So that was a cool highlight for me. But overall, it was, and again, I would just say cute for this Good Feathers one.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad one, just cute. Right?
Yeah, sure.
It was no West Side Pigeons.
No, nothing. No Good Feathers, I think, is so far has gotten even close to to West Side Pigeons. So. Well, let's go ahead and get right over to our water tower rating. All right, guys. So what do you think? Kelly, we'll start with you. What do you think? How many water towers would you give this particular episode of Animaniacs?
I'm going to give it 4 because Indiana Jones.
And biased right there. That's amazing how many of this. So
yeah.
And
well, the other segments were fine. I mean, it was all good. So I didn't feel like there was a particularly weak segment, but yeah, Indiana Jones.
The fan service got Kelly right there.
I'm so easy to please, really.
And Nathan, what do you think?
I'm torn between 3 and 3.5. I'll go to 3.
Okay.
And I mean, I enjoyed all of them. I think the Chicken Boo was weaker than other Chicken Boos I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was a good episode. But
okay, so you're gonna say 3?
I'll say 3.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give it 3 as well. It was a good episode. It wasn't bad. It was nice.
So that averages out to a 3.4 or something.
3.4, yeah.
3.33.
We'll let the listeners do the math. And with that, let's go ahead and get to our poll results from last week.
Hello there. I am the announcer bot 3000. I give Twitter poll results for podcasts around the world. In fact, it's the only thing I do. What a waste of programming. Anyway, I have been asked to fill in for the regular human announcer while he is unavailable. Here are the poll results from last week. Human listeners were asked, which of these is your favorite Mindy and Buttons cartoon? #Animaniacs #Animaticast poll. 0% said Mesozoic Minty. Ouch. I guess that cartoon will go extinct. Ha ha ha. 7% said Up the Crazy River. That cartoon was crazy. Ha ha ha. 13% said Operation Lollipop. I thought that cartoon was pretty sweet. Get it? Sweet. Ha ha ha. But in the end, 80% of listeners voted for Cat on a Hot Steel Beam. So that cartoon won. Yay. Those are the results. Hope you enjoyed that. Well, off I go to give results to other Twitter polls from around the internet. It's not much, but hey, it's a living. Bye.
Okay, so those were our results from last week. Nathan, what do you think? What's your favorite of those 4 Mindy and Buttons cartoons?
Well, I voted for the Cat on a Hot Steel Beam.
Why do you like that one of all the Mindy and Buttons?
I liked there was lots of cameos in it. It had Popeye and Tom and Jerry, and so,
or at least they're doppelgangers of some sort, like Bizarro Popeye or something.
It's just a very classic Buttons and Mindy, but
yeah. And Kelly, what about you?
I like the Cat on the Hot Steel Beam as well. I just thought it was cute. Yeah. I don't know. I was not a big Buttons and Mindy fan anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would say like of those 4, I would probably go with Cat on a Hot Steel Beam because it just seems to me that one was the most aware of itself. It was the only cartoon that said, "Yeah, we get it. This has been done before and we know." Yeah. To the point where they would just throw those cameos in, and it was cute. It was aware of itself, and I like that most. Well, let's go ahead and get into our new poll question for this week. Nathan, what do you got?
All right, so we just had another Chicken Boo episode.
Yes, we did.
In fact, this is the 4th Chicken Boo episode.
Whoa.
That's right. So we're going to be asking you, what is the best Chicken Boo episode so far? And we can go back and... So we started with Chicken Boo Rishnikov. That was the first one where he was a dancer. Mm-hmm. And then there was Davy Omelet, where Davy Crockett kind of came the funny things there. And The Good, the Boo, and the Ugly, where he was in a Western.
Oh, yeah, the Western one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then this one, The Big Kiss. So of those, which is your favorite Chicken Boo episode so far?
Very cool. Okay, well, head on over to twitter.com/Animaniacast or simply search on Twitter for #Animaniacast poll, and you could easily find that poll and make your voice heard. And this is very important.
Yes.
So as we know, make sure we know which of those 4 is the best.
Yeah.
And they'll go off to the playoffs of Chicken Boo.
Yeah, at the very end, we'll put all the Chicken Boos. The final.
Oh man,
we got this bracket going, guys.
This is crazy stuff. Okay, so go ahead and head on over to Twitter, and we'll see what happens next week. Well, I think, just before we wrap things up, I just want to make sure that people know that, hey, do you listen to us? Are you perhaps a new listener? Stuff like that?
No,
not talking to you, Nathan.
Oh, you're looking right at me.
No, I'm just talking to the people out there.
Stop looking at me.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to look at the wall.
Okay.
Hey there. Are you a new listener? I bet you are, maybe. So if you are, stop looking at me, Nathan. Get to my eyes.
I was trying to move in front of you.
Nope. If you are, hey, why not stop on over to iTunes and leave us a positive 5-star review? We love to read those, and we haven't had an iTunes review in some time.
Yeah, I just checked, and not since like November. What are you doing, guys?
Gosh. So come on, listeners, get out there and leave a positive review on iTunes. Really, it is one of the best ways to help the show and make sure it can reach an audience. And hey, you know what? Tell a friend as well. Get on out there, and if you have some fellow Animaniacs fans, hey, spread the word. And we get growing by leaps and bounds every day when it comes to people on Twitter and Facebook. And just wanted to say hi to those people out there. And yeah. We got some good stuff in the future, including next week.
What?
I can't wait for next week.
It's an Animaniacs episode.
It's a really, really good episode. It's Clowning Out.
Okay.
And Bubba Boba Brain.
Woohoo!
Yay!
So this next week is going to be, I'm pretty sure it might get more than 1 or 2 stars. I'm pretty sure it just might. So
we'll have to wait to see.
Well, before we go ahead and wrap things up, let's go ahead and get to some contact information. Nathan, where can people get in contact with you online if they'd like to say hi?
Twitter. I'm on Twitter. Twitter me. You can tweet me at DjangoFT. There you go.
All right. And of course, you can send Nathan a catchphrase if you'd like.
Hashtag Animani catchphrase.
Right there on Twitter. And he might just read it out loud. And Kelly, what about you? How can people get in contact with you if they'd like to say hi?
I'm on Twitter, Yoda Princess, or email kelly@bigshinyrobot.com.
All right. And for us at the Animanicast in general, if you just want to say hi, we are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on Google Plus and Instagram and all that stuff. And of course, you can always send us an email as well, which is animanicast@retrozap.com. And speaking of retrozap.com, there are tons of things that you can do over at retrozap.com. Lots of cool articles. I'm looking at the website right now. There's a whole article right about the new Nintendo Switch that's coming out.
Coming out in March.
Ooh. And there's also multiple different podcasts that you could listen to as well. There is the Animanicast. I heard they're okay.
They're amazing.
There's the ArgCast. There's Beltway Banthas, Brews and Blasters, the Dukes Cast Movie Show, the Dune Cast, the Sandcrawler, Skywalking Through Neverland. There's Starship, Sabers and Scoundrels, Talking Apes TV, Techno Retro Dads, the Trade Federation, and We Know Nothing. Oh my goodness gracious, there's so many podcasts to listen to. You can actually subscribe to the RetroZap feed and get every single one of those podcasts delivered right to your podcasting device because you're that special and awesome. So, with that, it's time to wrap things up, and we'll see you next week with an episode I can't wait to discuss.
Yay!
Until then, this is Joey, and for Nathan and Kelly, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds of the Animaniacs characters or any other Animaniacs-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Warner Brothers, Amblin Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animanicast unless otherwise indicated.
The Spideys!